Welcome to the Great Financial Story, where we explore the most significant financial events in history. From financial bubbles and market crashes to economic booms and busts, we dive deep into the stories behind the numbers to give you a better understanding of how the financial world works. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular and revolutionary technologies of recent times, cryptocurrency, and more specifically, Bitcoin. You've probably heard of Bitcoin, but do you really know what it is and how it works? Well, that's what we're here to explain. This video is about the increasing popularity of digital currency, specifically Bitcoin. In today's world, more and more people are turning to digital forms of currency to make transactions. This shift is happening due to the many advantages of digital currency over traditional forms of money. It's more convenient, more secure, and more efficient. And among all digital currencies, Bitcoin is the most recognized and widely used. Bitcoin is a decentralized form of currency, meaning it is not controlled or regulated by a government or other authority. This is one of the most significant differences between Bitcoin and traditional money. Bitcoin transactions are not processed by any central institution like a bank or government. Instead, they are processed by a network of computers running special software. This decentralization gives Bitcoin a level of autonomy and security that traditional money cannot match. Bitcoin transactions are processed by a large distributed network of computers running special software. When you make a Bitcoin transaction, it is broadcasted to the entire network of computers that run Bitcoin software. These computers, called nodes, then validate the transaction by verifying that the sender has enough funds and that the transaction is legitimate. Once a majority of nodes have validated the transaction, it is added to the blockchain, which is a public ledger of all Bitcoin transactions. The network records the sender and receiver's Bitcoin addresses, and the amount transferred, and enters it into a ledger called the blockchain. The blockchain is like a digital version of a traditional ledger. It keeps track of all Bitcoin transactions. But unlike traditional ledgers, the blockchain is decentralized and public, meaning that anyone can access it and see all transactions. This transparency is one of the key features of Bitcoin, and it ensures that the system is secure and efficient. Each transaction is encrypted and verified by multiple points in the network to ensure that every computer is using correct copies of the blockchain, making it virtually impossible to counterfeit. This verification process is called consensus, and it is what makes the blockchain secure and tamper-proof. When a transaction is added to the blockchain, it is encrypted and verified by multiple nodes, which ensures that every copy of the blockchain is the same. And since the blockchain is a public ledger, anyone can verify that a transaction is legitimate and that the sender has enough funds. Verification of transactions is performed by Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin miners are individuals or organizations that use their computer processing power to validate transactions and maintain the blockchain. Miners are the ones who add new transactions to the blockchain, and they receive a reward in the form of new bitcoins for their work. This process is called mining, and it is what keeps the Bitcoin network running. Once a computer successfully processes a block, it is added to the blockchain, and the system generates a new Bitcoin that goes into the miner's digital wallet as a reward. The process of mining is very compute-intensive and requires a lot of electricity. The reward for mining a block is a new Bitcoin. The reward is also having every 2 10K block mined, which is every 4 years. Mining Bitcoin is a process of using specialized mining appliances or computers to validate and record transactions on the blockchain. To do this, it requires a significant amount of computational power. The difficulty of mining generally increases as more and more miners join the network. This is because the system is designed to take about 10 minutes to successfully process a block. As more miners participate, it becomes more difficult to be the one who gets to validate the next block, and get rewarded with newly mined bitcoins. The costs of mining Bitcoin can also be quite high. In the early days of Bitcoin, it was possible to mine on a spare laptop, but now it typically requires specialized mining appliances called ASIC miners, which can cost thousands of dollars each. They are not versatile and can only be used for Bitcoin mining. In addition to the cost of equipment, electricity is another major cost associated with Bitcoin mining. As miners race to solve complex mathematical problems, their equipment consumes a significant amount of electricity. In parts of the world where electricity rates are high, this can make Bitcoin mining unprofitable for the average person. Therefore, it is important to consider both the upfront costs of equipment and the ongoing costs of electricity before deciding to mine Bitcoin. Thanks for watching this episode of The Great Financial Story. We hope you learned something new about how Bitcoin transactions are processed and verified by a distributed network of computers, and the role of miners in maintaining the integrity of the blockchain. Remember to subscribe and enable notifications so you won't miss any of our future videos. Thanks again for tuning in.